Søren Hermansen is famous as an energy magician, but in fact he's a community magician who led the Danish island of Samsø to become 100% energy independent using renewable resources. Using familiar technology, wind turbines, solar panels, the people of Samsø have taken ownership of their own future. That's the real magic. And that's the result of skillful organizing, ruthlessly realistic analysis, and deep understanding of local sensitivities. Søren Hermansen is now the director of the Samsø Energi Academy, the Samsø Energy Academy, whose mission is to share with the rest of the world what its people have learned about living sustainably and doing that together.
In Denmark, we have the folk high schools. We have a common structure. We have a very decentralized common structure with the municipalities being quite independent also for many things. And we believe in a common agreement of things. So widespread public participation is kind of the same wording or the same vocabulary of things. And so we believe that we understand. So that is kind of when people agree on things. That is widespread public participation. You kind of show it, you speak it out in the open, and people will reflect on it, and we'll have an agreement. So we didn't start it ourselves. We started a lot of other things also, but the initiative comes from various places. So in this case, it came from an engineer who lived on the mainland, and he saw this, and he was actually an engineer in green technologies and green development. So he saw this, and he and his partners in the company, they actually picked 3 or 4 islands. So each partner made a proposal for 3 or 4 islands to be sure that we're winning. So they set it up, kind of the sketch for a master plan to do this. To make it kind of more realistic, they called the local chairman of the trade organization on Samsø, who was a blacksmith or a plumber. He had quite a big company for the local scaling. And he was a very ambitious businessman. He could see the potential of this also. I mean, there's going to be a lot of construction and a lot of what do you call it, maintenance and business in general for his company. So he liked the idea also. So he said, yes, we need to do that. But they both agreed we need to talk to democracy also. And so they called the mayor, who was a practitioner of life. He was a farmer. He was elected mayor because it's a farming community, and he said, we need to look into this, mainly because he saw the budget for the whole project and thought that if we'll get 20 or 30% in subsidy from the government out of this, that's a lot of money for the island, and I'll be a popular mayor. So these 3 guys, they actually decided to go down and see what could be done, and then we won.
It seems to me that seeing in the problem an opportunity is also it just seems to be part of the way that the Danes see the world, you know?
Yeah, it's maybe a question about, I mean, that's maybe also a question to you. It's maybe even a question, where does innovation come from? Does it come from kind of the big structures, the multinational companies, or does it come from politicians and visionaries, or does it come from the rural area where you have these little companies that's trying to survive, and they have to be very innovative to survive. They have to find out what is the next product we can make a living out of. Now, I saw that, I mean, especially wind power in Holland, in the Netherlands, and in Sweden, and also over here in Nova Scotia. There was actually some wind projects going on. There were some manufacturers of wind projects already in the 70s, and they were working very hard to be kind of out there on the market and do things. But for some reason, they disappeared again. And they didn't have this market breakthrough. And maybe because there was too focused to gain the market, where in Denmark it was farm machinery manufacturers that actually took over the wind projects. So they were doing irrigation machines and trailers and tractor equipment and all sorts of things. And then they did some wind turbines on the side.
Companies like Dronning Board?
Yeah, Dronning Board, that was one of them. But they didn't do so much in the wind turbines. It was LM fiberglass. It was Vestas. Vestas was a farm manufacturer in the beginning.
And LM makes yachts, or did?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it was a boat.
And exported them. I've been on them in Canada.
Yeah. No, they made a lot of very beautiful boats.
They did.
Yeah, but then they knew about fiberglass, so they made the blades, the wings for the wind turbine. So I think. And of course, they were helped by Danish policy also, because we were then looking at how do we achieve our goals. We need to produce renewable energy. We don't have hydropower. We can't dam our rivers because we don't have any heights in Denmark. So But we have a lot of wind. We have a lot of biomass. So from a very early period, we also saw farms. They bought a boiler where they could chuck in straw, hay, wood, everything. And they could produce heat for the barns and for the house and for everything. So we had some local manufacturers of wood chip and straw boilers. And they then became district heating, decentralized combined heat and power systems. So they also came from local innovation and local production because they were needed. And they could compete with oil prices because we had these oil, I mean, we were helped a lot by raising oil prices. In 1996, when we started, the oil price on the world market was about $30 per barrel. And 10 years later, it was almost $130 per barrel. Of course, that was predicted, that it would kind of work like this. It's always been doing like, since the 70s, oil prices has gone up like this. They go down a little bit, but then they go up even further. And then, so it's like a staircase of price development. And if you can see that, you can also calculate when is a breakthrough economy for green technology. Because that's where the confidence is again. We need to trust somebody to help us in an honest way, not some salesman from a company that sells us some technical wonder tools that eventually shows doesn't work. And we don't want to lose, we want to win.
Søren Hermansen, who organized the little Danish island of Samsø to lead the world in energy independence. If you enjoyed this interview, you may want to take a look at our interview with Hugo Spowers, who is reinventing the auto industry, or Mark Boyle, who's rejected the use of money, or Mohammed Hage, who's created the world's first commercial rooftop farm. For the Green Interview, I'm Silver Donald Cameron. See you next time.